because we have been around since I think almost like this is our second term. Senate has been there close to 11 years. Do you have a president?
Yes, I think there are countries just next door, Uganda. The Gora police.
You know, I'm saying in Kenya, do we have a similar case scenario where we have governors who have
contempt of parliament can lead to censure? Because that's usually the consequence. You can be censured, you can be named.
Can they say we censor the governor? Unless a lot of naming governors are supposed to be censored by the MCs, then I don't know.
Yes, so
I think that those constitutional gaps are there.
And that's why we're saying we need to come
with power to assume people to raise a mandate to the governor as a Senate.
Yeah, that's possible. That's within our powers because provisions on stoppage of funds are there, flagrant disregard of the PFM and other laws.
Can we recommend an arrest?
Yes, it's in the motion.
Because I've always known that Senate is a quasi-judicial. I mean, it's a court away from the normal judiciary setup.
That's what I'm saying. There's a gap. This, whatever we have in the Powers and Privileges Act of summons and fines, is just a slap on the wrist. People like Sakaja can pay 500,000 every week, maybe drawing it from parking fees of Nairobi. So we need to have much more stronger consequences. And that's why I was asking the legal clerk to tell us, what is in law, what's the consequence of contempt of court? Is it jail, is it fine, and for what duration?
Chair, the consequence of contempt of court is the judge can direct that you actually serve time if you refuse to purge that contempt. So you've seen civil servants, for instance, who refuse to honor court orders. The threat for the imprisonment is always there. And this is why it was important to support Senator Ososi's motion. But I know that it has to go to the National Assembly because it was bringing amendments to the Powers and Privileges Act. Once those amendments are in place, we will have more powers. But for now, I think the suggestion that has been made, a motion needs to be brought. I have no problem as the Senator of Nairobi if the Senate resolves to stop money going to Nairobi. And nobody should argue that you're punishing the people of Nairobi because nothing is happening even with the funds. Nothing is happening in Nairobi. So, Chair, this is why I'm saying, for me, really, let the words of the Speaker reverberate, that we cannot be a house of lamentations. Once the powers of arrest come, once the National Assembly passes those amendments to the powers and privileges, we'll have a bit more in terms of what we can do. But for the moment, let us look at the things that the Senate can do. And the only way to deal with these rogue people, we should stop all money going to Sakaja's government until he appears here to answer this question. There's no other way.
Chair, you know, this committee has the sharpest legal minds actually in the Senate. This committee is composed of very brilliant legislators. I don't know why we are falling short of getting to the answer at what we're supposed to do with these rogue governors, because, you know, we have been, some of us have been around for quite some time, and I think you must have witnessed some of these things before. So I don't think whether we are supposed to be struggling to get answers to what we're supposed to do. We are supposed to put our minds together and consult maybe other precedents across the board. Because we can't continue like this. Maybe we are becoming irrelevant every day.
Yeah, and you had asked for precedents. One of the first scenarios that the Senate faced was with regards to appearance of Oparanya before the Public Accounts Committee. He refused to appear. He went to court, and I think he lost the applications he took to court. And the committee directed the Inspector General of Police to arrest and produce Oparanya before the Senate. The IG did not honor the directives of the Senate. So the Senate had to march to Vigilance House to demand the arrest of that governor, which again did not happen. So we can reflect on those experiences, but we should never be seen to be acting in vain. Because if we are seen to be acting in vain, I have heard it from some governors say that, well, Senate, they will go, I will go there, they will embarrass me, but that will be the end. Or I will choose not to go. They will fine me, I will pay the fine, and I will continue paying the fine indefinitely. So we must have stiffer consequences. And it's not just a matter of going to the IG to seek the arrest of Sakaja, because that has been tried in the past. We need to try something different.
Chair.
Maybe Senator Mariam has been seeking this.
Chair, mine is the last comment of yours. We need to do a long-term consequences so that we can, one is maybe we can, as a legal, I don't know where the gap is as a legal law, if this IBC or what, we need in such scenario is a lot of money. What if we can do and that somebody such kind cannot vie in any other positions? It's permanent. On a review CV to any other committees for 6 times, they are supposed to do, they are not supposed to vie any positions for the next, after 5 years. Maybe you can do also a foot like that so that they can see, these guys are serious, so that next time I cannot come back because I have my CV has been in such scenario, so that at least we have a teeth to bite.
Yeah, declaring persons unfit to hold public office.
Yeah. Chair.
Senator Du?
I think the powers of someone at the tail end lies with a different institution, which has been frustrated several times. My position is, since we have powers of making resolutions or passing resolutions within the House, we should actually do that, because the resolution of Parliament stands. And I think we are the ones who disperse funding. If somebody does not want to come and account for budget that they have been allocated, the best solution is to stop money going there, so that they are held accountable. So I think powers of someone aside, we should actually move a motion in the House to hold these people accountable. We cannot allow that to happen. You've seen even EACC has been withdrawn from this committee, and nobody is giving an explanation. So that clearly shows how the committee of this House is actually being frustrated, and we should not just sit and watch. I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Mithu.
Honorable Chair, even as we look at the long-term solutions to this particular problem, we are seized with the matter, and I feel the pain of Senator Sifuna, because even though we have a problem with the other county governments, the kind of monies that we are speaking about, over 70 billion, is not little money. And also the kind of reports that we are dealing with are not unqualified, are not qualified, are 3 adverse opinions in a row. And Honorable Chair, in putting our foot down, I'm very persuaded to follow the route of Senator Fatuma Dulo, an experienced legislator, in the sense that if we issue summons, which we will ultimately, because I mean that is what has been provided for in our standing orders, and the governor also fails to appear, and we find a governor, as you have correctly put it, the governor will pay the 500,000 and can pay the 500,000 continuously every week, for so long as we want the 500,000. But a more permanent solution, if we are able to stop the flow of money from the Office of the Control of Budget, who I don't know why the Senator for Isiolo did not notice that it is not only the EACC who are absent, but also the Control of Budget. If I am not wrong, today is not present. Just allow me to finish, then you come in. So, Honorable Chair, if we are able to stop money from flowing, because if you cannot be able to account for what you have received, then we should stop what you are receiving, and I'm sure that would be an easier route for governors to become more accountable. So I support that proposal by Senator Dulo, that bring that motion, let's have a resolution. Let's use them available tools of trade, because you've tried out the Inspector General of Police and you are frustrated. We have issued summons. Senator Sifuna has said that for the Energy Committee, they have invited the governor for 6 times and he has not appeared. And it is the same person. So if I think especially for this committee, because the matters that you are dealing with are financial prudence, we need to deal with that financial aspect of talking to or having a resolution that the control of budget does not release any more money to the Nairobi County government until they appear before this committee and account for what they have received already.
Thank you, Senator Chair. Senator Nyonka.
Maybe, Chair, the last point for me I would like to make is that even just being given an opportunity as a committee to debate and discuss the behavior of the governor and some of the governors that will be working with data, information, and the consequentials, I think would make it possible for our colleagues to actually make deliberations which, as far as I'm concerned, would make some of these governors realize that we are not joking. Thank you.
So, members, from your contribution, I see we have problems at 3 levels. Number 1, we have a problem at the audit, at the time of audit, and that's why we have an adverse opinion. Most of these things are issues that have not been supported, expenditure that has not been supported. Non-provision of documentation during audit is an offense, and the Public Audit Act already speaks to it. So, where we are having a problem is, first of all, enforcement of the Public Audit Act. We have written a law that is aggressive and that is very clear on such cases. Adverse opinions, disclaimers generally are as a result of either outright theft or non-provision of documentation. So in our motion, we must also address issues of enforcement of the Public Audit Act. Then we have a problem at the point of implementation. Who enforces the Public Audit Act? Who prosecutes? Who investigates and prosecutes? Auditor General, you will have reached a conclusion that documents were not provided. And we will have agreed with you that documents were not provided. Who is supposed to pursue conviction? EACC and DPP, isn't it? Now, we have a serious problem with EACC, and this I must put on record, and I know the media is here. We have received no explanation why the officer from the EACC has been withdrawn, and the withdrawal came at the time when we were going to Isiolo, and clerk, we directed that we write to the EACC to give us an explanation on why the officer was withdrawn and to get a replacement. Have we received any response from EACC?
Mr. Chairman, no, we have not received any response, but the letter went about a week ago.
I will direct that we call the chair of the EACC and the CEO of the EACC to present that explanation before the Senate and before the media. Because we have so many, yes, they appear before this committee. We have so many things of implementation, matters of implementation that are hanging. Because whatever resolution we make out of this that requires a resolution through conviction, then we must rely on EACC or DCI to facilitate that. So let's get an appropriate date. Even if, notwithstanding the response, we still want to have a conversation with EACC on other matters to do with implementation